Okay, so here I am again, Sunny Speaks with the Sunny Speaks podcast. And as you know, this series is about the murder of George Floyd and the aftermath that popped off in many cities and even international, not just protests, but some violence, some looting, some vandalism in certain cities, unfortunately. But again, we're looking at different perspectives to see what different people think and hear so we can know how to move forward from this. And today I have with me, boom, am I pointing the right way?
Yes.
Yes, Dr.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Thank you for having me, Clarence.
All right. Just introduce yourself.
My name is Dr. Ngonzi Truth Krishan. I'm known as Dr. Truth or Dr. Krishan, whichever one you prefer. I am from Chicago, but currently I am in Atlanta, Georgia. I have a private practice. I'm a licensed, eligible psychologist, which just is the fancy term of I'm not licensed yet, but I am still practicing psychology, and I have a private practice in Decatur, neighborhood of Atlanta, Georgia. I have been working in the field probably for 15 years or more. I started off at Community Mental Health Council with Dr. Carl Bell, doing a lot of trauma work with youth and families, particularly in the South Side location near South Shore and the South Side in general, and working on 12th and 11th and Hamilton at the Mental Health Juvenile Justice Courts and Detention Center.
Okay.
So we did a lot of wraparound services and, protective factors for a lot of Black males especially, but also Black females too, ages 10 to 18.
Cool. We'll have Dr. Truth's information listed with this podcast. So if you want to get in contact with her, I'm sure because of the COVID-19, she's doing stuff through Zoom, online, and so on and so forth. And then I even got some people in the ATL, so, want to get down with them there as well. But I ran across your post on Facebook. Everybody, of course, is talking about what's going on, the murder of George Floyd, but the bigger story of the continuing threat on African-American people by law enforcement. And so the Twitter blew up, Facebook, of course, blew up. It was shocking to see some of the stuff I saw, especially when it came to vandalism and looting, but that's a whole nother story. The South Side got hit real bad, the West Side got hit real bad, but it all sprung up from this, once again, this unfortunate murder. And I think within the month of May, we had saw 3 of these murders, or at least we captured 3 of these type of murders with Ahmaud Arbery. Those, of course, were police officers, and then Breonna Taylor. I think she's from Louisville, I'm not sure where she's from, but her murder, which we need to speak more of, and then this here of George Floyd. And so just jump in there and tell us what your thoughts were, even share your post with us, because that would encourage me to do this interview with you. So.
Okay, so one of the things that I have been doing is in response. So I'm just gonna start with my response. So my response to the senseless killings, not just by police officers, but just from the beginning of time for at least 400 years, right, or more. So my response has been, as a therapist, I think it's important to be in touch with my feelings and your feelings during this time, especially. So I felt sad. I had to cry. One of the days I had a breakdown, like literally, it was just too much. From COVID-19, one of my childhood beauticians died from COVID, and then the shooting, the killing, the murders of multiple Black people in a row, it just all took me out. The heat from Atlanta, like all of it just took me out. I was angry, I was frustrated, I was irritated. I'm stuck in the house, I'm working from home, so it's So I just feel stuck. And so I know, and I'm a therapist. And so if I'm feeling stuck, if I'm feeling emotionally off balance, then I know that there are other people that are less trained, that have less coping skills, that have less support and resources than I do. I know we're not doing well as a people. We're not doing well.
Yeah, we're not.
And so I find myself, when I said that, then myself and another colleague said, what are we going to do, to help us heal, to help provide some of those coping skills? And so then I started doing Zoom. So it started, as first Zoom was on May 22nd. The next one is June 6th, tomorrow.
Okay.
And so the title of the Zoom was Re-Traumatization in the Black Community. And the main reason why we started that is so we get the word out to stop rewatching the video. We're watching it, period. I've never watched it, and I never will. I
couldn't watch it either. Once they told me that was enough. Sometimes I, like a little kid, when it come on, I cover my face because, just like you say, re-traumatization, this whole thing that, slave masters used to do with slaves, they would bring around the other people while they beat and massacre somebody so that you can know that, look, this could be you. And that's what I feel that tape is doing.
Exactly. And the psychology word for that is learned helplessness.
Learned helplessness.
So we're not doing that. Not doing that at all. So then I was on another one of my support group things. Like, we have a ladies' night. So we've been checking in ever since COVID. So since March, we've been having weekly check-ins. So one of my ladies' nights, usually the discussions are on like current topics, and usually like, well, did you see what this rapper did or that? And I tune out, like I'm tuning out, because again, that doesn't inspire me. That doesn't get me motivated to talk. Like, I don't care about that. That's irrelevant to my life. Let's just say that, to me. I don't watch TV either, so I'm just different.
I don't know what they talk about, right?
So this week, the topics in the news, we were talking about George Floyd, the responses. Of course, we're talking about the protesters, the looting, the things like that. And then the conversation took a turn. And so, and I love a challenge now. I love a debate. Yes.
Okay.
I love a debate. I love think tanks, and I love hearing different perspectives. And so this sparked, bless you, this sparked something. And the question was, or is,
excuse me, keep on going.
Bless you.
My allergies.
The question is, you better keep those germs over there, okay?
No, where's my mask at? Where's my mask?
Okay, get your mask. Get your mask. Okay, so I see you.
I know you do. I'm trying to be careful with it. That's just allergies, though. That's not.
Okay.
That's what they're telling you, huh?
Hey, I'm protected.
Okay, got thousands of miles. You are.
But the question is it my job, or is it our job as Black people to educate white people or non-Black people on the history of Blacks in America, Black Lives Matter, and police brutality against Black people? And the conversation is, most people said no. I said no as well, but I also stated that personally, I have had personal conversations with people that I know, white coworkers, and white people that I call my friends. So kind of like inner circle, okay? Or at least in the circle of influence. Right. And if they're asking me and open and willing to listen, of course I'm going to share my story and my perspective. Right. Because many have not learned, been taught, or done their own research on what it means to be Black in America, or the Black experience, period. Because right. One is not taught in schools.
True.
And I get the other perspective. It's not our job as the oppressed to teach the oppressor, not to say that all white people or non-Black people are the oppressor, but it's not our job to teach them anything. Right. So I get that part. Right. But it's been a fruitful discussion. So I'd love to hear your views on that too.
So, I mean, I think I'm kind of like you. I think I say the answer is no, but there's a caveat there. I work with some cool white people. I have some friends that are white. Ooh, that sounds so racist. I have some friends that are white. But yeah, and some of them is willing to do the work to actually learn, and some of them I'm not sure what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like you. Then I just kind of zone out because I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? What's interesting to me is that you're right. It wasn't taught in school, but neither was learning how to smoke. You know, and neither was learn how to play spades. But you know how to do that. You know, so things people who are interested in certain things can research those things by themselves. I mean, I'm not sure how you can see these stark contrasts in the world and just decide that it's just okay, you know. And I'm talking about just the way neighborhoods look. Even if you stay in one neighborhood all the time, or your first person that you meet that's black is in college. I mean, you gotta at some point you gotta ask yourself what's up with these stark contrast. And maybe that's, you know, maybe white supremacy answers that for them because they're better than us. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think it's our job to do that, you know. I have kind of, well, read this book or get this information. Now, whether they did it, I don't know, you know, because some of this one book that I referred to some of my colleagues was Why Is Talking About Race So Hard for White People, or something like that. Why is talking about, it's called White Fragility White Fragility is the name of it, and the subtitle is something like that.
Yeah.
They said he goes into deep detail about how, you know, a racist system, institutional and structural racism. So it's not about individual white people being good, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm not a part of the Klan, so I'm not racist. It's about I benefit from a system of racism that other people don't benefit from. And because of that, there's not equal playing ground.
Yeah, white privilege.
White privilege. And ain't no white person exempt. Whether you poor, whether you grew up on the South Side where black people grew up, you're not exempt. And this is coming from white ladies. So I refer that books to them sometime, and just and then maybe just listening. You know, sometimes you're in places and people are in leadership positions, and it's hard for them to listen to other people who are not leaders too. But just listen to other people and see what they say. How did your responses go when you reached out? Or I would like to have been on that line, actually, that conference call with the sisters and see how that conversation went.
You don't want to hear that one. I'm happy that the Facebook one didn't go left. I try to steer my conversations because, one, I don't want to bash white people. Of course, that's not what the intent was. Right. It was to have the conversation about where do white people go, really? That now becomes the conversation, where do white people go to learn about the struggle of blacks in America? And so some of the answers that I've been getting so far, when Killer Mike did his video, he did a response to the violence in Atlanta. Google that. And then he also did another interview on, I think it's Stephen Colbert show. And he talked about where white people can go to learn about the black struggle in America, blacks, you know, our plight in America. And so he talked about how white people can educate white people. And so he threw out the name Jane Elliott, who was an anti-racist. And she has lots of videos. And he said, sit down on YouTube and listen to her for an hour. Okay, right. So that's just a place to start. So now what I'm doing in response to all of this, because this is not where I intended to go at all with this. Like my focus is on healing and coping for Black people as we endure and continue to fight, struggle, protest, and get the system changed or revamp the entire system. But now it's kind of two parts, where now I'm creating resources, but not just for us, because somebody said that on a post as well. That is not just white people that need to be educated on the history of Blacks in America. Some Black people don't know the history of Blacks in America. So now I'm creating a book list, a YouTube list, a video list, and things like that, resources, so we all can learn.
Okay. Where's that list at?
It's being created as we speak.
Okay.
It will be on my website, drtruthandassociates.com. Okay.
Okay, so we'll make sure we put that in the information. You brought up an interesting point, and when you talked about posting on Facebook, you was like, well, I didn't want to put too much. You know, this dichotomy that Black people play with their how much they'll say, even on a social media site. You know, I don't want to offend. I'm not saying that's what you were saying, but I don't want to offend nobody. I don't want to offend white people or make them think we're attacking them. And constantly, I know part of this, I'm not going to educate white people, is the fact, I think it's read it out of the same thing, is that I'm not trying to offend people. I'm not trying to make white people feel uncomfortable, or I don't want to get into an argument with white people about stuff that ain't going to change no way. You know, and so a lot of times I think at conference tables, at the lunch table, at the water cooler, if you will, Black people just hold back. They like, okay, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to hear this no way. So it's a Dr. Truth that's at the job and speaks on social issues or not, and then there's a Dr. Truth that was on that line with the sisters, and she letting it all rip. Just talked about that a little bit, the dichotomy that Black women, specifically Black women, Black people, but specifically Black women, have to play in this environment where you already, like you just said, you already hurt, you already locked in the house, you already you quarantine, you can't see nobody, and now I got to tiptoe even on social media around issues that involve my own healing.
Okay. So I'm not saying I'm tiptoeing. You know that's not what I'm saying. So let me just clarify that. Exactly. I said, and I quote, I said I didn't want other people to go in on white people on my social media posts. Okay. Dr. Truth has no problem. I'm not tiptoeing over anything. That's the truth. Okay. Now I may PC it, say it in a PC manner if I'm at the water cooler or if I'm at my job that's predominantly white, you know, yes, I may PC it or say it in a PC way, or I may not say all of what I believe, you know, go into the depths, but I'm going to let them know I have done this in predominantly white institutions because I attended a predominantly white, this was my only school that was white, Argosy University, where I had to challenge professors against the status quo where they're stating that poor Black people don't value education. And this is what I believe a lot of whites believe that they know because they're watching the news, and they do not believe that the news is wrong. They do not believe that they have to critique the news because they believe everything that the media is telling them if they're not doing their critical research. You know, most people in America are not critiquing the news, Black people included, right?
Right.
So most people are not thinking critically when they're receiving information from the president or from anybody else that you believe is a leader and or a cited source, right?
Right.
So yes, you have to do your own research, and that's honest on everyone, not just white people. That's on Blacks as well and any other color.
That's right.
So I forgot your whole question, but I just need to clarify that. I'm not tiptoeing anywhere. My name is Truth for a reason. I was named after Sojourner. Okay, so my thing is, how much do I get them? How much do I give them? How much do I unleash on them? That's my issue.
Can you handle all of that?
When is the time and when is the place to say and or make my voice heard, and what's the purpose? What's the end result that I'm trying to get? Because I may not be trying to get to equality at the job or whatever it is, but do I need to do this in a form of a letter? Because I've done that. Do I need to do this in an email? Do I need to go to the provost? Do I need to go to the CEO of the job? Why am I talking to you and you have no power, supervisor or whatever, you know? How do I do that? That becomes the question. How do we fight? And that's what we're talking about with strategizing and organizing. How do we do it? When do we do it? Who does it? Who's the spook that sat by the door, and who's the protester, and who, you know, who am I going to be today? That's what it becomes. So I understand what you're talking about with Black people in general, and especially Black women who have to have these alternating hats where, yes, I'm an activist, But guess what? If you take off that activist hat too long, then you don't become the activist anymore. If you take it off every time when you're in your job in corporate America, I think that's happening now, right? Mm-hmm. Because I've seen a lot of Black women post about the people that they do business with who have these alternative views that are now coming out, and they are unfriending them, not doing business with them anymore, because now the lines have been drawn. You're either on this side or you're on that side. Right. So it's becoming real clear right now right. When it starts to affect economics and it starts to affect what we're doing, what the next steps and decisions that we're making, right? Okay. In our careers, as well as where we live, as well as what schools we attend, as well as am I going to eat Wendy's? You understand what I'm saying? Because I didn't go to Wendy's today. I went to McDonald's. And I'm thinking about not going to Wendy's ever again, because now I see what Wendy's supports. Yeah. So it's becoming this. And I think it has been becoming this for a while now, where companies and corporations now have to stand on values. And if the people don't agree with your values, it's over. Chick-fil-A. A lot of people do not support Chick-fil-A because of their views on LGBT, right? Exactly. So the same thing is now happening with race, and now Wendy's, and now this, and now that. Who's with Black Lives Matter? So now I will be going to Ben and Jerry's. You understand me? Because they're out here protesting for us. Oh, they have a strong statement about us. They're making ice cream to support us.
Black Lives Matter ice cream? Yeah. What? I ain't seen that. What is
that? So we're really standing up. It's no time you can't be neutral in this fight anymore. I need to know. The same way you have your A, B, and C rating on your restaurant, I need to know if you Black Lives Matter or not.
Black Lives Matter. You put it on the door, right? FDICBLM affirmed. Right? I like that. That's true. The lies have been drawn. People are seeing what people is made of. Sometimes you knew, but just not as bad. You spoke about the president and his I don't know what to say, if I want to say unwillingness, but his lack of leadership in this place is just, but it's revealing. It's revealing something that most of us knew. And I think some white people are embarrassed, and Republicans are like, oh my God. But I got Black friends who voted for Trump, and they sadly defended him. I'm like, this is.
I have Black relatives that voted for Trump.
Speak about drawing the lines, huh? Yeah. Okay, that's good. So, of course, I wasn't trying to say that you was like, Black people is always. I think it's interesting in the workplace, in our social lives. There's just a dichotomy there. And again, like you said, as you well stated, how much of this do I want to give? And can they handle it? And to what end? Why am I telling you this? You're not going to, you have no power to change it unless I'm just trying to tell you off and set you straight. Mm-hmm. And then you talked about protest. We got a lot of people that's protesting. We just had a little video thing with our young adults, our teens, just to kind of like a Zoom like this, but just to kind of hear their words. And it will be one of my wishes is to actually get the activists in them stirred up. But so many times people think of activism, they only think about protests, but throughout history, we've used, music like Fela and writings like Gwendolyn Brooks, the politics of Shirley Caesar, Lord have mercy, just politics. Hallelujah, Shirley Caesar, Shirley Chisholm. Oh my goodness. Okay. Just to, those are activists too. And I'm just want to be able to. I want you to talk a little bit about that, about the different ways in which people can, because I think it's a bit therapeutic. You know what I'm saying? To see this stuff going on, and to have it bottled up, but then I could use protest, or I could write, or I could make a song, or I could do a poetry, or I could do storytelling, or I can make a hip hop song that don't push me. I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes. It's making me, how I could use these gifts that we have to protest. And we've always done that. So just speak to that a little bit.
Okay. So of course we know this. So one of the books that I've been using is The Artist's Way, which talks about us being more creative. It's by Julia Cameron, and it talks about how when we're young, most of the times we're steered away from being creative. We're steered away from being artistic. We're told that that's just, that's just play stuff. Like, there's no time to play. Push that down.
Yeah.
But, inherently, especially Black people, we've always sang, we've always painted, we've always did poetry, spoken word, rap, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we've always been creative. We've always made things out of nothing, something out of nothing. So this is what we do when we come into the therapeutic room too, as well, with children. We're doing play therapy, we're doing art. They may not be able to express, and you are not able to express your trauma all the time through words. So sometimes you have to express that through drawings, through writings, through whatever. I saw this picture. I wish I could show it. Let me see if I can find it. It was this picture that somebody did with this woman just yelling like in rage, a Black woman. And it just explains all the sentiments, all of the hurt, all of the pain, all of the, some things can't be said in words enough, but a painting can express exactly how we're feeling or doing. I'm about to find it right here. Oh, I hope you can see it. You see that?
Oh, I can see that, yeah.
That's by Yemanja Paints, Yemonja, and she's one of the artists out of Chicago. She created that.
Oh, really? Okay.
That just explains it all for me. All this entire podcast could be summed up in that one picture.
That's right.
There's also this other picture that basically has a Black man, and it says, "Do you know that if you feel angry all day, every day, that's a trauma response?" Like that. That's powerful, because a lot of times our Black boys and our Black men are told to go to anger management. They're told that they're angry. They're told that all that. But guess what I learned in my doctorate program? That is always a feeling underneath the anger. Right. What is that feeling? Okay. And our Black men, our Black people, our Black women, the angry Black woman, do we feel safe to express and be vulnerable enough to tell America that we're hurting? Because y'all don't hear that. And we know what we do when we're not in safe spaces, when we express hurt, when we express pain. It can be trampled against and seen as weak. Yeah. So a lot of times our expression comes out as the angry Black woman because you're not listening.
Right.
So I love the way when you said you have to listen. White people have to listen. Yes, you really do. But it's empathic listening, not just listening to respond, but listening to hear. Putting yourself in our shoes and actually listening and hearing those stories of hurt and pain and discrimination.
Right. Say the name of the book again and the artist.
The name of the book is called The Artist's Way. I might have it right here. It's by Julia Cameron, and I don't know where my book is.
Okay, I'm gonna list that too.
But it's really good. She talks about writing your morning pages every day, where you're just writing 3 pages daily of everything that's on your mind, because we're dealing with so much.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with this. It has everything to do with everything, really. So yes, it's about Black pain. You know the book Black Rage.
Yes.
That's a book too. But again, underneath the rage is pain. But a lot of times we see it as rage, or it's expressed as rage in the external, in the world. But when we come back home, we know who consoles Black men. We know who consoles Black children. We know who consoles Black women, right?
Right.
But we're not doing that on the outside, because that's kind of like the internal. We keep those feelings internal and inside of our homes and inside of our Black communities for the most part.
Right.
Very rarely do you see a Black man crying in the public.
Right.
Again, that's something that's done underneath. But there is hurt, there is pain, there is sadness, and some of that learned helplessness too, feeling like you can't get ahead as a Black woman or as a Black man because of glass ceilings and because of all the, systematic things, systematic racism.
Yes, systematic racism. We're gonna pivot back just before we finish up, and we're gonna pivot back to that video, and people watching it or not watching it or decide not to watch it no more for their health reasons, and how traumatizing it can be. But it's hard to have not seen it, especially if you watch TV.
Yeah.
You're on the internet and you watch TV or one or the other, you've seen it. You may have had to turn your head or turn the channel. But once we enter into that trauma space, then give us some coping skills of what we can do to kind of like, okay, how do I release this? I mean, we talked about art, and I'm sure therapy is on that list as well. But I'm gonna let you let you
You
deal with
know.
that.
Okay, so some of the coping mechanisms that we've been talking about are music, and I'm going to share with you a music playlist that has been helping me.
Mm-hmm.
Is by Black Girl in Ohm. Um, they created a playlist to help you release, and one of the songs on there is actually called "Release," and a lot of songs by India Ari.
Mm.
One is called "Give Thanks," and it just helps you just to rechannel or reprogram your thinking to not just think on pain, but also on giving thanks for what we do still have, giving thanks that we're still resilient, giving thanks that we are Black, strong, resilient people, okay? We've been oppressed for years, but we still come back and still we rise.
I know that's right. Okay, you gotta make a song out of that right now.
Come on, I know you give me a beat. Let's go.
Where my djembe at? Oh, I ain't got it with me, so.
Okay, so that's one. Singing, that's always been, and we can create our own songs of, a struggle and overcome, because I don't want us to think that we are only Black people or struggle. Some people never went through slavery. Some Black people never went through slavery and have never been slaves, okay? So let's just say that. So that's one. The other is therapy, but I'm also gonna give you some quick resources. So therapy for Black girls is also .com, and then therapyforblackmen.com, and then Psychology Today, where you can actually see the therapist's faces to see if they're the race that you would like, the gender you would like, the sexual orientation you would like, and other things, specific issues. So some will tell you if they work with trauma or not. There's also intervention that I've been teaching on my Zooms and will be teaching on Saturday, called tapping for trauma, where you're tapping, right? So we're tapping and it neutralizes the trauma, right? Okay, at the eyebrow. So at the top of your head, you just tap it with your 2 fingers at your crown. And then you're gonna tap right here by your eyebrows. And you just tap into the beat. And then you're gonna tap right under your nose, above your lip. And these are all trauma points that coincide with your neuropsychology, okay? And then under your chin, then at your collarbone, and then right at your bra strap, if you have a bra, if you're a woman, on both sides. And then you're chopping on the fat part of your hand on both sides. You're just gonna chop.
Okay.
And then the last one is you're gonna just touch the bottom of your finger, well, right near the end of the nail of your finger. And if you do this every day, it will help to neutralize your trauma.
Really?
Your fears, your anxiety, your pain. I'll send you a link for that as well.
Your link gonna be long. This thing gonna have a lot of resources.
I may just add it all on my website, because I continue to have to, come up with more things, but I think it's good because that's something tangible that people can take with them, and they can teach their children, their family members, their neighbors, whatever, and it will help them right away.
Okay. I'm going to keep that in mind, because I be tapping other people. I need to be. I work with kids, and that trauma come, I be tapping them. So.
No. Loving taps. Loving taps.
Loving, oh, no doubt. Well, Dr. Truth, we appreciate you sharing this time with us. I know you're busy. Well, maybe not. So we are. Is y'all quarantine been lifted in Chicago?
We're more busy now.
Right.
We still are doing therapy sessions via telehealth.
Okay. So because of that, we appreciate your time and your input and your work for us, for our community, whether you in Atlanta or Chicago or in Detroit. I think that we could still establish a community, and we appreciate your work toward that community. Any closing words you want to say?
Keep tapping.
Keep on tapping. Okay. I'm going to watch this video again and make sure I got all the points right, so I know where to tap myself.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna put it there, and then you'll see it. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can look at this on sunnyspeaks.com. Again, if you lose it on Facebook, that's www.sunnyspeaks.com. Just go to the podcast section. All right. Thank you. Good. Thank you guys.